Author Sarah Rosenthal, I'm so glad I got that name right because for the longest time I've been calling her Susan this morning. Author Sarah Rosenthal describes purpose as what wakes us up in the morning with a spring in our step. That thing that keeps us energized and, engaged with what it is that we're doing. However, in today's context, in these given times that we're in, it's become a bit more difficult to focus on what your purpose really is. The woman has been forced to reinvent herself, to change so many times that oftentimes we feel as though we actually have no purpose. We feel like we've lost that sense of purpose, especially if you're in Zimbabwe, where we have a very difficult climate. Now, broadcasting live from the ZTN studios in Harare, Zimbabwe, welcome to this discussion, a Thriving Heals moment where we are looking at purpose. Our topic for today, Women Powered by Purpose, a life-changing conversation. My name is Candice Mwakalieli, and thank you so much for joining me as we try to bring life to this discussion. And joining me is, of course, Regai Grace Gwande, who is an advanced communicator, a leader, bronze with the Toastmasters International, and she's also a fempreneur. Now, a phenomenal woman in her own right. Today we'll get to understand her mind, but also why she's so passionate about women finding their purpose and just what role purpose plays in your life. Regai, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Candy, for having me.
Now, we know what Sarah, what is her name? Sarah. We know what Sarah's definition is, but what is your definition of purpose?
You said, what makes you wake up in the morning? When you wake up, what do you look forward to doing? And at the end of the day, what have you achieved? Probably you start with the end in mind. If I wake up today with determination, am I going to go to bed satisfied of what I would have done? It's something that comes from within.
Okay.
You are asking yourself, I want to write something. If I write that, am I going to inspire someone out of what I've written? I want to bake this cake. Am I going to satisfy someone's needs because I've done this cake? So it's something that comes from within. It's internal. And then you try to show it outside. It's difficult to really explain, but it's something that drive, the determination that you have, the tenacity within you, and the zeal.
That thing that you dream about.
The excitement of doing that, and something that you dream that one day I'm going to be happy, or I'm going to be content, because you've started with the end in mind. You're not starting with something that is here. You're starting with something that is ahead of you because you want to do it.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to interchange between Regai and Grace.
It's okay.
Between the show, just so that people don't get confused. It's still the same person. And she uses both names. So we will interchange and see how we go with the conversation. Now, tell me your journey with finding your purpose. How did you just wake up one morning and say, no, I feel like I need to, or I need to? How did this journey with finding your purpose and wanting others to find their purpose begin?
People in my generation, I think you understand that. At some point, it was just life. Waking up, going to school, coming back home. Tomorrow is the same cycle.
Yeah.
We grew up in an environment where we didn't have maybe someone you can probably take as a role model to a far extent. Yes, but I have my grandmother who was so straightforward, and she will teach you and she will tell you that if you want to succeed in life, you need to be focused. But it's the grandmother. You will not.
You can't relate to what her term focus
and you say, there she is.
Vatanga.
Yes, Vatotanga. And you would just say, because she's my grandmother. And by the time we grew up, we didn't have mentors, if I may say. the grandmother is a mentor to you, but because she is your grandmother, she's cooking sadza for you. She's sending you to fetch water for you, for her. She's looking
buying
at
you sweets.
Yes, she sends you to the shops to buy the sweets. She tells you, go to the shop and tell them it's Gogo. She wants bread, margarine from her account. So you don't even know what she's doing. She's actually teaching you, but you're taking it as just something. So I would say purpose then begins to ring in your mind at a very later stage because of the background or the generation of me. It's quite different from the generation of our children now.
Right.
Yes. Until such a time when you are then like, you want to go for a professional course or you want to find employment, then you start asking yourself, what do I
want to do?
Yes, and if I get a job as an accounts clerk, will I do it good? Am I good in figures? If I get a job as a secretary, will I be able to manage the bosses or the people around me? That's when you realize that you need then to focus. You need then to come up with something that interests you as you are embarking on this journey. So later in life, that's when I realized that most of the things that I'm doing, I don't enjoy them and I don't like them. It's more about passion as well, because they are interchangeable.
Right.
You have to like what you're doing in order for you to have a purpose in life. But I must say, the course that I took in life also attributed to the purpose that I also realized this is what I want to do.
Okay.
Yes, I'm a secretary by profession, and all these other professions that come after that, they are complemented by who I am. I started as a secretary, and being as a secretary, you are organized at some point. You need to be organized because you are managing somebody.
Yes.
You are all different, and you've got different backgrounds, different characters. You understand everything differently. So as a secretary, you then sit down one day and ask yourself, what I'm doing, will my boss be happy with what I'm doing? And if I can manage his diary, if I can manage his life, if I can manage her schedule, her trip, why can't I also do the same for myself?
My life, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's where I then realized I need to think outside the box. I need to come up with something that I would then say, this is Regai, this is Grace. And my grandmother is also called Grace. So, sometimes you would say...
You will look and you'll be like, oh, but...
Vatanga Grace, right? But this is where I am. So I must say, probably she played a greater part, a great role in my life, which I now know at this time, not at that time.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Now, tell me something. So, when you started to then figure out, okay, what is my purpose? What were the questions, some of the questions you were asking yourself to get to this point?
Okay. Why did I wake up? If I leave this house, am I going to come back happy or satisfied? Or if I walk out of this door, am I telling a story to somebody else? Am I sending a motivational or a positive story to someone? Or my workmates, my neighbors, even my children or my family? Am I an inspiration to somebody else? So those are the things that you then sit down and start visualizing, internalizing. You pause and say, hang on, I'm going out today. It's a Friday. What exactly am I portraying outside there? And then you reflect within yourself and say, yes, last week Friday we did this. Am I going to repeat the same? Or I want to change, use another avenue? And then you rethink, yes, I need to change the strategy. And you start all over. You take an assessment of yourself and see whether you've got that impact in other people's lives. I would say in sometimes you then end up people calling you mother or they call you sister. Why are they calling you with those names? Because there's something that you have done that has touched their lives.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So, Grace, from this discussion, just for someone who maybe hasn't caught on just yet, when you came to your aha moment of this is my purpose, what was your purpose? Grace, what is your purpose currently?
My purpose currently is to inspire someone. Out of writing, I enjoy writing short, long articles, but you know what? I've not put them in place so that someone can then just take them and read like a book or like a small motivational book. But I have a lot of articles that I write and I share with the people around me. I love talking to people, you know, just to hear what their issues are and sharing moments in life. Probably maybe going further into like mentoring or coaching so that they also learn something from me and transferring some of the things that I've learned through the journey of life, the skills, the difficulties in life, and just trying to share what you have experienced. So to me, I would say I want to share something that is within and let it go out. At this moment, I've been writing articles, which I believe a lot of people have read, and they come to me and they say, how did you write this? And you know, like my daughter is the one who actually then probably inspired me.
Right.
One day she said, Mom, do you know you can write? And I said, why would you say that? What do you mean? And she says, I follow your WhatsApp status. You put some statement, maybe it's a one word or it's just 2 words or a long statement, but that is a story that you are sharing to people, or it's something that you can sit down and write and share so that people can learn from you. So since then, you know, I always ask her, is this okay? And she said, yes, that's the way to go.
Now, you know, as we talk about, so you've said, okay, your purpose is to inspire. Can somebody have more than one purpose?
Yes, you can. It depends with how you view your purpose, because mostly the purpose of in life, people say, I want to live a better life. But that better life, you cannot just have a better life without working for it.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
People will say, I just want to have a lot of money. That's the purpose of life. But how do you have that money come to you?
Right.
You work for it.
Right.
The channels and the avenues of working now, those are the ones that are different.
But the purpose is...
Yes. Someone will say, I want to make money, but the purpose for me to make money, probably I will just go outside there and talk to people, a motivational speaker. That's my purpose. Someone will say, I love gardening. I know I will make money out of gardening. So you can have a purpose, and people will say, at some point you will then change and say, no, I've had enough of this. Let me.
I'm done with this purpose.
Yes, and you start to reassess yourself again and see where you can position yourself again.
All right, now
Yes.
we are going to take a very quick break today. Grace and I are discussing purpose, women powered by purpose, the life-changing conversation. Have you found your purpose? Let us know your thoughts on, of course, our Facebook page, ZTN, Zim Papers TV Network, or if you are on Twitter at ZTN News. Make sure you are part of this discussion. We take a short break. We will be back shortly. Don't go away.
Should I
back and you are watching Thriving Heals. Today it is a women powered by purpose discussion, a life-changing conversation that is taking place between myself and Grace. Now, if you are joining us, remember that the platforms to contribute on are Zim Papers TV network on Facebook and on Twitter at ZTN News. Make sure you are having this conversation. Now, Grace, when we left off, you were telling us that, look, it is possible for you to have more than one purpose. Your purposes can switch. But let's start at the very beginning. Why is it important to actually have a purpose in life? Why is it important to kind of discover that connection with your purpose in life?
You need to, you need to have a sense of belonging. Because if you don't have that attachment of having a purpose and a sense of belonging within your life, then somehow you are lost. You're just waking up in the morning, you are out and you're back. You ask yourself, what did you do today? Did you will say, I only went to the shops. For what? And some of the things, they're like impulse. You're now just working on impulse. You're not putting thought to what you're doing. You're just saying, because it's 24 hours in a day, so if I maximize on my 6, 7 or the 8 to 5 job, then I'm okay. So you need to have that sense of belonging of what you're doing. And you also need to have that attachment within yourself, because it's coming from within. You need to then say, oh, I need to have a tick box to say I've achieved this, because a purpose and the goals, they also work.
They work together. You've
got a purpose, you've got a goal, that's why you've got a purpose. So if you don't then go to your boxes and tick, then it means it's just a purpose in the mind or on the paper, which doesn't have somebody who's going to then track and say, oh, okay, did I meet this goal? I said I wanted to write an article.
Did I do it?
Did I do it?
Accountability.
Yes, yeah, you need to be accountable for everything that you're doing. It also then gives you that motivation. Yeah. You get motivated, excited, because you have impacted a positive, something positive to somebody else.
Right.
So if somebody then comes to you and say, I read about your article, you know what, you say, yes.
I did it.
I did
You're
it.
going to feel good about
yes,
it, and you want to do it again.
Yes. And you then say, okay, I need to wake up tomorrow and continue doing what I'm doing. Yes.
So is it safe to say that our purpose in life generally connects to the relationships around us, the various relationships, whether it be with your family, your community, your workspaces? Does our purpose tie into all these elements of our life?
Yes, it does. It does. Like I said, purpose, sometimes some people are just comfortable just to make their family happy. As long as my family is happy, I'm good. And that's the purpose in my life. And as long as my workmates or my neighborhood or my community where I stay, I also share something and inspire them, and probably be somebody who's there to assist when need comes. Somebody would say, yes, I'm okay with that. That's the purpose of, that's what you want to do.
Right.
Yes. It's not something that you need to then stand up and shout, here I am. That's my purpose.
Right.
But as long as you feel satisfied, you feel contented that you have done something.
You've done something and you're at ease with what you've done. You feel good about what you did.
Yes, you're feeling good and you're feeling excited. I celebrate myself. If I've done something, ask the people close to me. They will tell you, wow, Regai, if she has achieved something and she has done something that she feels everyone has learned something from her, she will celebrate. She will make noise. She will just let people know that she's done something.
Right.
So to me, I am okay with that.
So tell me, because it's not a conversation, well, it's not a question that everybody will ask every day, especially not, I know it's not a conversation I'm having with myself on a daily basis, although I should be. There will be someone sitting there thinking, okay, I haven't found my purpose yet. or I haven't looked into that journey towards self-discovery where I find what my purpose at this stage of my life is. How do you kick off this journey? How do you say, this is what I'm doing, and I want to discover this? How do you start it?
Okay, you know, yesterday I was talking to one of my little brothers. I was saying, what is your purpose? And she said, sister. Ndochi Jojo. Exactly. You know? I said, I want to know, because at some point there are things that you are doing, but you don't know that's your purpose. And he says, I want to make money. I just want to make money.
Right.
Then I said, make money, that's not a purpose. It's like, it's a
goal.
It's and a wish, like you know, that's what I want to have it in my life. So I then said, okay, do you know that you want to make money, but you can sit down and do a self-assessment and see what you love, what you like doing most, what interests you, what kind of a person are you, and if I'd ask you maybe to do another task that is not within you, you will certainly tell yourself, I don't like this.
Right.
I don't
enjoy doing this.
Yes, I don't like going to the shops.
Right.
You can send somebody, but what I want is, I want nice things. But how do you get those nice things from the shop when you don't like going to the
shops? Yeah.
So then he said, this is interesting. So later on during the evening, he then sent me a message and said, sister, you know what? I did a self-assessment and I've seen that, yes, I want to make money, but I have to work hard. How do I work hard? I need to interact with a lot of people. I need to make myself known of what I'm doing. So it's, in short, we're just saying, do a self-assessment of what you like doing. I always do that just to check whether my purpose has changed, or I am still on the same page, or I need to up the game. So I always take these assessments just to find out who exactly I am now, and where am I coming from, or where do I want to go,
and where am I going towards?
Yes.
If my purpose is still the same, what progress? Or it's too early for me to find my purpose now.
No, it's never late. Remember, I said our generation.
Right.
Yes, our generation, just a few, I think it's not even 10% of my generation that knew their purpose way back. It's never too late. You can start now and say, okay, all along I've just been wandering on one place.
But it's because
I didn't know. I just thought maybe it's late. Can I start all over? You might have maybe quit on something that you really wanted. Why? Because you thought it was late. And you thought, hey, purpose for what?
At this stage.
And I give up.
I'll
just wake up, come back. And as long as I get my paycheck at the end of the month and feed my children. But you know what? Probably you've got that talent, you've got that gift that God gave you, and you're not utilizing it. You're not taking a step further to then showcase, just wake up, dress up, put on a smile, and show up. And then people will say, hey, what has happened to you? And you tell them, you know what, I've found myself.
Right.
Yes, it's never too late.
Right.
Yes.
Now, one of the other things is when we look at the current state we're in. So we're in lockdown. We've been in lockdown for close to 2 years now. Yes. Apart from that, also our economy is not the strongest, and so employment issues are also an issue in themselves. So sometimes someone will get stuck in, number one, I need to just take care of my family. Number two, whatever job I can get, I'll get whether I like it or I don't. We get caught up in all this, trying to live in this moment, trying to get through today, trying to get through tomorrow. We constantly get lost in trying to survive. How do you reshape your mind to allow your purpose to continue to drive you despite what's happening around you?
That's where your goals now come in, because you need to check on your goals. And yes, they are difficult to to say, yes, I would achieve or I have achieved, or to keep a track. It's so difficult, and especially with everything that you have mentioned here, the economy, the pandemic, and you've got also the family to look after. But because you have set goals in your life, and you know at some point when you achieved those goals, you felt something come out of you. You felt very satisfied. You felt very happy. You felt you have achieved something. So you need to constantly check on your goals. You need to constantly sit down and write your goals so that you don't get lost along the way. You need also to know your why, because if you don't know why you are doing all this, then it means there's nothing.
There's no purpose.
You're just sharing a story to somebody. I want to buy a house. Why do you want to buy a house? You know. So the moment you link everything to your why, everything then falls in. Yes.
And it's perfectly okay for any woman to feel as though her why has changed at different stages, isn't it?
Yes, it does. Because you've got, you know, with women, we get so swamped in a lot of things. Before you even know it, you are a mother. Before you even know it, you are a grandma. Before you even know it, you know, all the children are gone. You are left alone. So you need then to know that as a mother, you will face all this, but you have to be prepared.
Right.
And you have to plan for that. You have to then accept whatever comes at that time with the mind of having a purpose run as well. So that as even the children, they also have to then say, our mother taught us this.
Yeah.
And our mother would keep saying, remember why you are here. Yeah. So as women, I find it sometimes we get lost because we've got so many things that comes in. You've got issues at work. When you are at home, you also are in control. When you are at church, you are also in control. When you go for a funeral, you are a murora, you know. So sometimes you then forget about certain important issues in your life, and then you say, I will attend to them when I come back from the rural areas. But life is not stopping. Life is moving. Life is going. And those 24 hours, if you don't grab an hour to then do the things that you enjoy most, it means you're losing it out.
So we've talked about, you know, when you find your purpose, one of the elements of knowing that you've kind of found your purpose is that feeling of achievement, of having achieved something at the end of the day, feeling good about doing something that you did. It doesn't matter how big or how small it is, but you feel good about it. But Grace, we don't always have good days.
Yes.
How do you push yourself back to your purpose on a bad day? That day when you feel like I just can't get out of bed today. I'm exhausted. The kids are screaming in the house, or I'm just tired from work and I don't want to go back to work tomorrow, even though I love what I do. But today I'm having a bad day. How do you use your purpose to push you, to motivate you to get out of bed and keep going and realize that, look, it's just a bad day?
Yeah. You know, bad things, bad days, difficulties, challenges, they all come. And as somebody who's got a purpose, like I said at the beginning, you need to pause. You need to probably just, on that particular day, you just need to just maybe not do anything at that particular moment when you're feeling, hey, this is not me today. What do I do? Pause. And then you reboot. Reboot in a way, maybe find something that, you know, if I do this, or if I read a certain book, or if I watch a certain movie or documentary, or if I listen to the radio, if I listen to maybe a motivational speech from someone, or if I just maybe talk to someone, just talking to someone, maybe it will make me feel better. there's nothing wrong in feeling better. Probably it's also the moment you come back, more energy. You will come back with more energy, focused, or probably just somebody who then is determined that I'm going to, this setback, yes, but I'm going to
overcome it.
So I think the most important thing is just to sit, pause a little bit.
Yeah.
And then restart again.
Yeah, because we do tend to be very hard on ourselves, and we feel as though, a down day is the end of the world. I'm being dramatic, yes, but you feel as though, I can't keep doing this. I have to stop, and this is not working. And but it's just really just a little detour.
Saying a lot of things to you. You know, hey, you've started doing this. Why? You know, I will tell you, because I thought there's something that I want to do, but sometimes I don't get enough time to do it because I'm going to work 8 to 5. Sometimes you go beyond 5, 7. When you get home, you're tired. The children are looking forward to see you.
They want their time.
Yes, and then opportunity came, and I said, no, I'm going to grab this. In as much as it is like it's negative, but to me, I'm going to take it as a positive, a step further in my life. It will also make me realize and then bring out what I want to do exactly. And then said, I'm leaving employment. And then people said, what? In this pandemic? In this economy? And I said, yes.
That's what
That's what I want to do for now. I want to be focused on and do what I love most.
All right.
So it just takes somebody who's got you need to make a bold mind, bold decision. And sometimes the outside forces, yes, they are there to support us and to help us, but it's you.
It's your mind.
It's your
mind. Regai Grace Gwande and I are discussing women powered by purpose, that life-changing conversation. I hope that you are following and you are enjoying. I hope you're also sending us your contributions on Facebook, Zim Papers TV Network, and of course on Twitter at ZTN News. We are taking a short break. Do stay tuned. Welcome back and thank you for joining us on Thriving Heals today. Of course, a discussion on women powered by purpose, and I have been discussing it throughout the show with Regai Grace Gwande. And of course, I have been interchanging the names, so I'm just making sure you are not confused. We are talking to one person, we are speaking to the same person. Now, Grace, tell me the importance of a strong support network when you are discovering your purpose.
A strong support network is like, when you in the field, the fertilizer, the gem sites, everything. Then at the end of the day, you've got
a good crop.
Your good crop. That's how I also take a good supporting network, because they are there to support you. They tell you, let's correct where you are not doing it right. I will tell you, I've got a very supportive network in my life, like as a communicator. I'm a Toastmaster. You mentioned that at the beginning. You know, whatever that you do, you get feedback. And you know, feedback is just good because you grow, you learn, and you adjust yourself. So even if I am talking to you, whether it is formal or it is informal, at some point I know there's somebody who's looking at me and saying, okay, yes, she did it well. You know, they will give you a positive feedback, which you will then take back and then try to correct where you think you need to make corrections.
Okay.
But I've also realized that most people, they don't accept feedback or criticism or just to be corrected. Why? Because it's done in a wrong way.
Right.
People will just come and say, Candice, you know what? Ha! Today, show you can get kids. Yeah, Nasa, you didn't do it the correct way. You will not take it. Probably they've come to you while you are not in your
the right yourself. Frame of mind.
Rather than coming to you, you know what, today I was looking forward to your show and the topic was so interesting and you had so good questions. But I felt there was something that was not...
That was missing.
Yeah, there was something that I thought you didn't do right. It's not the Candice that I know today. That way then you will then say, tell me, what is it? And then if they are true to you and true to themselves, they will tell you and you correct.
Right.
So in life, that's also what happens. We tend to correct or to then comment or to pass on suggestion to somebody in a wrong way.
The wrong context.
So people then say, so then it's not working. Let me leave it, you know, because it's my aunt who told me that this thing is not working. But because she told you in a wrong way, that's why then people then say, let me leave it and just stay. I don't have any purpose of living.
Is there such a thing as a toxic purpose?
How toxic then?
I just had to wonder because, so we talk about purpose and we talk about, you know, it being something that makes you feel good but sometimes things can make you feel good and it's temporary, and then other times you'll do it but it won't feel like you're doing it for the right reasons. You won't feel like yes, it falls in line with what you generally thought was your purpose, but it doesn't give you that feeling. It drains you in a way, or you
so
feel
then it's not yours. It's not yours.
Okay.
Because what we are saying is for you to then take that journey. It's a journey. Is that so? So there's something that is directing you. I would say probably you want to go to Borrowdale and you don't know where Borrowdale is. Sometimes you put on your GPS. So that GPS will keep telling you,
go this way,
go this way. No, you have to come back.
So basically what it is, when you start to feel that way, it's time to reassess and kind of figure out if you're in the right path.
Yes, you have to. Because, you know, sometimes I always say, because sometimes you are going where you've been before, but you are forgetting how to get there.
Right.
Or you've just, you don't know how to get there. And then you put on your GPS. Why I'm saying that? Because the GPS then keeps telling you that you have to turn right in the next 100 meters. Oh, you have arrived. When you have arrived, probably that's not exactly where you are going. You will then drive another 200 meters to get to the exact destination.
Right.
So if you are not getting that signal of saying, turn right, turn left, go straight for the next 2 kilometers, then it's not where you are going.
Okay.
It's not where you are going.
Okay. Now, so we've discussed it being an internal journey, and as we've said, look, if you're starting to feel a certain way, it's time to reassess. But here's another problem that we deal with as women. And we've talked about the strong support network, but there's also the negatives. There's also the, like you said, sometimes, yes, it's just, I mean well, but I'm saying it the wrong way.
Yes.
Then there are others who genuinely just don't mean well. And those voices as well can be very loud, and they can be
Yes.
very distracting, and they can make you feel as though you're not headed in the right direction. How do we sit back and kind of assess ourselves in such a way that these voices don't have that strong impact that they currently have on your frame of mind?
Yeah, those are the most heard of. They are so loud. You can even hear them as far as, I don't know, you know, because they are trying to distract you. And they are also trying to probably just say, you're not good enough. We know, Tom Zivo, you know. And that you know what you want to achieve. And you know what you want, ones who like do that to each other. I think it's just focus on your positives. Yes, those negatives, you can pick out something. You just have to choose what the words that they would have said and say, let me assess myself. Let me go back and see if this, what they're saying is true.
Who are the, you know, and genuinely when they say something negative, it's probably come out wrong, but they mean well. But now if I also now have to reassess just the general negative feedback, which is really in every sense of it meant to be negative, meant to impact me negatively, meant to, yes, I do understand that here and there we can pick up something, you know, even from someone who's negative, but their purpose is never really to build. Their purpose is to break. How do I stop myself from falling for that trick? Because that is the trick. That is what it's meant to do. How do I pick it up? How do I say, no, this is certainly not the correct feedback?
Yeah, because you know what? If it's of you.
Right.
Yes, because somehow you will lose. You will lose out. You will lose your focus. And just drop. I think there's a quote that says, if I will not say it exactly as it is, but
paraphrase.
Yes, there's a quote that says, if you are in a company or a group or just with people who don't have the same minds with you, just leave and just forget about them and focus with what makes you happy and what makes you tick at the end of the day and what people see out of you. If it's not what you feel, it's me, it's not you. Yes, it's not you.
Now, as we round off the show, unfortunately, because we are running out of time, as women, of course, our lives are very cluttered. How do we declutter? How do we make life simpler, especially as we begin the journey to finding our actual purpose in life? How do we make things as simple as they can be so that we can reach this this awakening of what our purpose is, and so that we can plan our lives as we work towards that purpose at that stage?
Okay, you know what? The networks then know, like we said, you've got your goals, yes?
Right.
You've got a supportive network there. You've got a family who is cooking sadza for your family. And after that time, I won't be control. Do not stress of the things that you know you will not be able then to change. Yes. Just concentrate on able to see that, yes, there she is. She's a very busy woman, but she manages her time. The most important thing is to manage your time. Right. Manage your time. Have maybe an early sleep and wake up early so that when everyone else, the chaos of the world is coming through, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, from 5 to 8, you've done something that is very productive. Right. And there are no distractions when you're doing that. But that's the time I also then try to then think through to say, what did I do today? What did I miss? How am I going to do good tomorrow? Right. How am I going to manage my time well tomorrow? Right. But you know, it always comes back. At 10 p.m. I'm seated, I'm trying to think, oh, okay, but I can't do anything this time. Everyone else has gone to bed. I cannot communicate with a lot of people. But it's just managing your time, managing yourself, knowing yourself, knowing your why, and leading to your purpose, having a passion of what you're doing.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
For that very insightful discussion.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
My guest today has been